Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. Happy Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program. Lucy. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. And if you missed portions of the show, want to get back, catch up at some point, you can. We'll post it upon the conclusion, both to our website, archived audio, as well as iTunes. And on iTunes, of course, you rate, review, and share, and appreciate all those 5-star ratings. Helps others find the show, so I'm told. Email if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. Twitter, it's at jcameron show. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. Good to be with you. Thanks for watching. And, all right. Final day before the matchup occurs. I feel like we've kind of gone into this thing sort of with a sleepy mindset. Yeah, hands up. Trying to hang in there and just temper, expectations. I don't think that this is a group, a fan base that is armed with high hopes necessarily. Maybe hopes, but not real belief that the team is going to go in there and win on Saturday. And that alone has made it weird. Because ordinarily, obviously, this feels like a great rivalry that should be, but isn't. And it's odd, too, because for a long time, Florida State was a dominant program in the ACC. I'm going way back now. And Clemson wasn't. And we dominated them in a way that it kind of became an irrelevant matchup. And I remember the first time I ever went to a game at Clemson, I came out of there with my father thinking, this is an impressive place. These are good fans. It's a great stadium. They're like us. That's the only place in the ACC we've been, Pop, where they're like us. Same sentiments. They care deeply about this stuff.
They got some pizzazz for the football.
They do. They care. It's not just basketball. It's football. In fact, it is football. And so I always thought, obviously they would be the threat. They would be the program in due time that would contend for the crown, right, which Florida State held for a very long time upon entering the ACC. And then, we all remembered what happened as things transitioned and we go towards the end of Bobby's career. And Clemson still hadn't really risen up. Instead, it was Virginia Tech and occasionally the likes of a Boston College and Wake Forest. It was really strange. And, of course, Miami at that point had joined the conference, and they certainly sauntered in with the gusto of a very confident group, but have never won an ACC championship and never lived up to the billing. Nothing but a brutal disappointment in the eyes of all of college football.
But a big-time Friday night kick in the Coastal tonight.
Against Virginia.
That's right.
That's right.
Huge game for them.
Lee Sterling will join us in the 4 o'clock hour to talk about that, amongst others. And I look forward to it because it's a weird game. But then we had our day in the sun again as we rose back and became the preeminent program in college football. Won 29 straight games, a national championship, went into their house in a primetime affair, and everybody remembers it well. In fact, it's the one we fall back on even this week, right? Going back and remembering that game and the swagger, which is an overused word, but no doubt fitting for that team that entered that stadium that night, literally, as they walked in and let it be known they were there to do business.
Stick 'em in your mouth and suck 'em.
And it became that. It became that kind of night.
Stick 'em in your mouth and suck 'em.
So Florida State dominated, and at that time we certainly thought it was the beginning of a run that is the kind of run that Clemson is currently on. And that's where we transition, which is difficult now because we mired in the muck, face down, baby, and just trying somehow, some way to pick ourselves back up. And Florida State sits on high, feeling very good about the program they've built, and they should feel that way. It's a dominant program.
Clemson feels that way.
Of course.
Yes.
Feeling very good about what they've built there. And when you've won as many games as they have over the last 6 seasons or so, it's impressive. And there are a lot of names out there in the world of college football that they've vanquished. And, of course, the biggest being Alabama a couple times. So I think that that's all. It's been weird. We really haven't seen it yet the way that we'd like to see it, where Florida State operates at peak efficiency, Clemson operating at peak efficiency, the way the Florida State-Miami rivalry existed, the Florida State-Florida rivalry existed in the 90s and 80s, where it was These are two of the most dominant programs in college football, and once a year they meet and everything is on the line because the winner's going to take the ACC and go on to the college football playoff, and the loser is left thinking about what could have been. And we haven't had that, and we don't have it now. And I'm reminded of it all week long, and I feel the frustration, not just as a fan, but because, in this business, it'd be nice. It would be oh so nice to turn on this mic and talk about the player to player, the position to position, the coach to coach matchups. But when you're outgunned, that's difficult to do. And the overriding story becomes one of how far along is Florida State? How much closer are they? Will we see signs of growth, continued growth, in a game like this, which is now the ultimate measuring stick for said growth? How close are you to the best team in the country, the best team in the conference? Where are you at with this? Because a year ago, it was 59-10, and their head coach was laughing on the sideline, inserting his son into the game.
Did we wake up enough to know that our cheek was not being caressed by Egyptian cotton, but by cold and scratchy concrete? Did we wake up as a program? Did we put our hands on the ground? So we got to a seated position. And then did we get on our feet? Because you could prove that much today. You're still in the alley.
You mean on Saturday?
You're not in a luxury hotel room. You're still in the alley.
Still in the alley. Still chilly out here. Still have, a lot to prove.
But are you standing in the alley? Or are you face down?
Journey of 1,000.
It's 1,000 choices.
You want me to go steps, miles?
We've got choices to make.
With the first step.
Let's make the right choice tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's do everything we can that if they're willing to give it to you, take it. If they play poorly, down to competition, lackadaisical, turnover prone, indifferent, go take it. Show me that you've matured enough that maybe, just maybe, in a shocker, you're in it in the fourth quarter with a chance to win it, and you put game pressure on them. That would be a win. Whether it was hey, listen, I know North Carolina was hurting in the seconds and minutes after that football game against Clemson a couple weeks ago. But in truth, that fan base, after they had time to kind of contemplate what just occurred and what they just witnessed, they had to have felt like that was an overwhelming victory, that was a program moving in the right direction. And maybe I want to feel that way and you want to feel that way on Saturday evening. That, okay, all right, yeah, granted, we don't have the offensive line. It's not here right now, and that makes it nearly impossible to win this game. But you know what? The heart's there, the buy-in's there, some of the talent, some of the position groups, they're getting better as a staff. All of a sudden, hey, we were in that thing. It's a 10-point game in the fourth quarter, guys. Okay, now let's go beat Wake next Saturday. That's the kind of conversation I'm hoping to have.
I'm hoping to have a conversation like this one. And not the pie in the sky, but it's, all right, third quarter. We've done what we've come here to do, which is prove that we're putting some stuff together. Now let's go win this GD game tonight. Let's go, because we've already done it. We've already proven it. So you're here. Now you got nothing. If you had nothing to lose before the ball kicked off, now you really got nothing to lose, because it's a 7-point game. One more stop, you got the ball with a chance to tie this sucker, and this whole place is going to sound like the silent vacuum of space.
Wow, quite the picture painted there, huh? I have a hard
touchdown,
time.
Keyshawn Helton, penning the PAT. Time. Here comes Growthhouston for Aguayo to kick the extra point.
Right.
Come on, kid.
Growthhouse. Wow. Would you feel that way? Would you think to yourself?
Did you hear what Willie said about that?
No, that he was going to flip a coin?
Yeah, he said, well, he was going to assign both Aguayo and Growthhouse heads or tails from the official's coin flip. And then whatever comes up, that's who goes out.
And he's probably telling the truth?
I think so. Ricky, your heads. Yeah. Growthhouse, you got tails. Be listening.
Well, actually, there is a way to gauge this, and I don't envision this game coming down to a field goal, but the truth is, if Roberto Aguayo makes his first field goal and it's a decent-looking kick and it's down the middle, he's going to make more. He'll be all right. If he misses it, don't let him kick again. I mean, he's got no chance on that second and third attempt.
And it's gone.
And it's gone is right.
Yeah, Ricky.
What did I call him, Roberto?
Roberto.
They're the same guy.
It's the same thing for both kickers
these days.
Make your first one, and then all right, we'll ride with you.
Yeah, no, I really believe that. I think you see that with Ricky when he goes out there. It's oftentimes, it's really off, and all of a sudden you go, well, that's not coming back. He's not going to believe in the second one, so let's just move on here, Big River. But if he makes it, you're like, okay, all right.
He's like the guy that you're golf with. You don't know him, but he's in like the company tournament.
Yeah.
Right? And so you get paired up with a random pair of guys, and he pulls one to the left of the hole. He's 150 out. It's like 20 yards left, and you don't know his golf swing yet. So you're like, cut. Come on, cut.
Cut for me.
It's not cutting.
No.
It's hooking. It's going the other way.
Yeah.
It's across the street in the neighborhood that's running along the fairway. But you don't know enough to know. Yeah, that's not going to cut.
Yeah, that's not
His partner's like, no, man.
It ain't
no,
cutting.
That
That's
ain't cutting.
gone.
That's what he does.
He does this. This will be all day. Get used to this. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's see. I know they believe. I know they care. I know they play for each other. They're more likable. A lot more likable. By the way, within one season, has a group turned around more than this one has? I mean, it's really quite crazy in the likability sphere. I mean, this is a group that, game one, game two, we're going, I don't know. Not only are they not good, I don't like them. I mean, they don't play well, and they're bombastic about it.
Yeah, after game two especially. One, you're like, Jesus, are you kidding me?
Really?
Two, you're like, screw you.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop taunting the opposing fans. You suck. Stop doing that.
It's UL Monroe.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Put your hands down, 8.
Yeah, no, it's funny. We felt that way.
He was also wide open. You didn't do bleep.
Yeah, I also didn't feel that great about that in terms of attitude, in the shift of attitude in the Virginia game. They played much better in the Virginia game, but I was at that game, and after every kickoff, they taunted the other team, Virginia's band and their fans, and I'm like, what are you doing?
So small time.
Just stop it. You just look like a group that is so filled with false bravado that the second one of those guys challenges you, you back down. Don't do that, man.
Well, and typically, I don't know, maybe it's anecdotal because I want to believe it, but most times I see it. The team that does that stuff doesn't play well. Like before the game.
Yeah, well, you focus on the wrong stuff.
NC State did it, and then on the replay, the cameras show that the bench is going nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you guys are about to lose. And it's exactly the way it goes. The only team I've seen so far in a while that really gets after. I'm not talking like they have a little choreographing, but they're just jumping through the gym.
Florida does it.
Florida did it before this last game.
Yeah,
but then again, they turned it over a bunch of times, and they look like ass.
But Florida does play good defense, and I think that's part of it.
Both those teams look terrible, though.
Florida's got a good defense, Tom. I'm going to give them some credit. I don't think they're a terrible team. I don't like them, and I hate saying it, but I think they got a good defense. Yes.
They only had to you think Hornerbrook, you defend the short field. The way that Gus calls it.
Gus calls a game east to west these days. Good Christ. There's no complimentary passing game whatsoever.
Hey, guys, we can get him with the screen pass here.
That's a real good Gus, by the way. I think it sounds just like that.
Guys.
Gosh.
Boom.
No. What I would say is that I think they have changed. They have bought in. They do play for each other in a way that is likable. You see that mostly on the defensive side when a team plays together like that and they begin to believe and they begin to understand what's being asked of them. When a kid makes a play, you see all the other guys run over to pick him up and congratulate him. Like they're genuinely happy for each other. And I think you see more of that with this team. And that's indicative of the fight that I think they'll have. I don't know that it's going to matter, but where it will matter is, in the second half, if you're down, the difference between getting blown out 59-10 and making it respectable is continuing to fight and believe and buy in and continue to work. And then from there, that carries over the following week in a very winnable game against Wake Forest. And I think it's an important game.
Well, and the thing is, you could still get blown out 52-17 in this game because Lawrence, like the old one, shows up and he makes
healthy and he's
6
making
Mahomes throws. And you go, well, okay. I mean, if you're going to do that, we did everything right. It's not our fault. But the way it looks matters. The way it looks matters. If Clemson goes through the motions and they still blow you out, then you got problems. But you're right. I think part of it, too, is we know where to be. We know where to be. And that confidence is, because you're being rewarded for knowing where you want to be, and then you're making plays. Because they told you, the coaching staff told you finally, it's going to come to you. And if it does, then you're free. You're free to play the game.
Well, everybody likes to play free and rely on the athleticism and speed, strength, and all that stuff, and you can do it when you're not thinking, and they have simplified, and we'll see if it's the result of playing two really bad teams that they have grown more confident and played with greater consistency, or is it true progress and the help of Jim Leavitt? I think that's there too. So a lot to be answered tomorrow, and I look forward to it. In fact, we'll look at all the games today, the bigger ones on the slate, talk more about this. In fact, I want to continue to talk about this. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men in a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Xfinity delivers the fastest internet, the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home, and the most Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. Only from Xfinity. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today to experience all Xfinity has to offer.
This is the story of a very special woman. Just a few knew about her superpowers. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Come in today for a 3 Chicken Supremes dinner for just $4.99. Each Chicken Supremes dinner comes with 3 of our bold, craveable chicken tenders, your choice of fixin', and a fresh buttery biscuit. Plus, you'll get a free legendary iced tea. For a limited time, get Bojangles 3 Chicken Supremes dinner with your choice of fixin' and a biscuit for just $4.99. And don't forget that free iced tea. Bojangles, it's bow time, y'all.
Times can be tough, but getting a late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you writing today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
Fire the cannons.
Fire them cannons!
97.9 ESPN Radio is Tallahassee's flagship station for Tampa Bay Buccaneers football.
Winston hands the ball off, and Barber up the middle to the 10. 3, 2, 1. He's got a Tampa Bay touchdown.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers football on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you in part by Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee. Metro Deli, Tallahassee's perfect lunch spot. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, Libations Friday. A reminder, we will be at Hangar 38 tomorrow for the game. Let's go Noles. Hangar 38 tomorrow afternoon. Little watch party, little gathering. Let's get together and take it all in. Enjoy the food, the atmosphere, the beer, the wine, the liquor, whatever it is, and the video games along with the bowling alleys and us. There you go. Make it happen. Let's do it. Play good defense. Give me a reason to dare to dream. Give me something that says this improbability it's in the air. It may be there. Give me, that's all I want.
I friggin' hate that we can't talk about the game consistently this week.
Yeah,
Doesn't
sucks.
it suck?
Well, I mean, we did some, but it dissolves into this realization that you're just not going to have an advantage anywhere on the field, and that's tough to stomach for the start. And then also, I think you go back, obviously, time and again to the offensive line.
Yeah, you need to turn in an ultimate outlier performance, while at the same time Clemson has to continue doing what they're doing, which is just kind of
playing down
and wandering through the season without much of a name until it gets to winning time.
Yeah, seemingly disinterested, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's true, and that is something, Tom, we won't know until they kick it off. I mean, I don't know how they're going to respond after the bye week. One thing I worry about is Dabo Swinney does a real good job these days of certainly having the finger on the pulse of his team and related to them emotionally. And I thought his post-game interview after the North Carolina game was perfect. You and I texted about this, and, he conceded they had been thoroughly outcoached. He spoke in reverence to what he saw from North Carolina's coaching staff and Mac Brown. He talked about the desire of Carolina's players and how hard they fought, and admitted that they got lucky. It tells me that he's got a pretty good understanding of his team and a grounding in humility. And I hate to admit all those things because of the kind of things that make kids and parents, want to go to Clemson. And what worried me about it was I feared that, he had what he needed. He was just now armed with what he needed to get this group to care. To go in there and talk to them in a way that right there you got film, Tom. You got things you can show them to get their attention. And obviously they had a scare. Carolina's on the goal line going for 2, and if it's not for a ludicrous play call, which is sideline to sideline against a speed defense, in a play they don't run.
Well, the good news is I think no matter what, we're going to come out and play hard.
I believe that's true. I do. And I'm, it's an area I'm happy about. Look, people don't like it. They perceive it as negative all week long. I've been hammered either on Twitter or in email. And people were mad at the War Chant Report and Seminole Headlines in this show because we sound so down about the opportunity or the chances that Florida State could rise up and pull off the upset. Fans want to believe it's entirely possible. They want to ignore glaring weakness that suggests otherwise. And I kind of feel bad, being a guy, one of the many guys in the press saying, I'm glad you want us to win. We're not going to. Because there is something hopeful and forever optimistic about solely being a fan and not looking at things objectively. And occasionally that sort of innocence and willingness to submit to that fandom is rewarded. Upsets do happen, and shocking results occur. And I'd love to be really, really, really wrong and come in here on Monday and go, hey, shame on me, great win, and good for all of you that believed.
If this game
Not that we have any influence whatsoever on the outcome of the game.
If this game were here this time around, it wouldn't change your talking points during the week at all?
Other than it's going to be a fun atmosphere, no. The matchup's the matchup. Physically, it's the matchup. It's what, I also think their coaching staff's real good. And ours is still being tested.
But you know what? They're being tested because their coaching staff hasn't gotten them to play a game yet. I mean, A&M, listen, I know what the score says, and I know in the second half that it's a rocking chair game, even though they've only put up 24 points.
But they're up 24-3 until seconds are on the clock.
I understand. But if you're looking at the process, not results, and the coaching staff having them detail-oriented, all these things that Jimbo would have you roll your eyes about. That game in the first half is Texas A&M kind of takes it to Clemson for a good quarter and a half
if
before
Kelly
they realize.
Mond can throw a damn pass accurately, there's a lot schemed open there. I will credit Jimbo and his staff. They had them ready to play on the road. They were more physical for a quarter, but when they didn't make it happen, they obviously it avalanched, and then Clemson rose and dominated the game. It's to your point, though, you better, if you're going to pull off the upset, if you get these opportunities that they had, you better cash in those chips.
Well, and Clemson almost wants you to hit him, like the crazy guy that you see in the bar.
Yeah,
and
go
like,
ahead, hit me.
Hit me.
I need it. Yeah, I need it. Come on, let's go.
And you see the other guy hit him, and then he's just smiling. What the hell is wrong with him?
Yeah, we got a problem here.
But that's Clemson. They don't want to just beat you to the ground. They want to toy with you.
I hope you're right about that tomorrow, because I fear that if they do and they take the field with the mindset that you're describing, we'd be in real trouble. So if it's lackadaisical, been here, done that, you don't offer much resistance, we're going to go through the motions, great, good. Hope that happens.
I just hope they look at the film and they say, oh, cakewalk. These guys, they don't stand up to us.
One thing I would say, though, is that athletes respect other athletes, especially if you're an elite athlete and you see one across from you. And at some position groups, they will. Tamorian Terry is a stud. And if you're Clemson, you look at that kid on film and you go, okay, he's got a little something to bring to the party here. Those guys are going to play hard because of that. That worries me.
This is the ultimate test of the 2014 Knowles theory. Because, we played teams with good athletes, and it didn't inspire us one bit in the first half. Miami on the road, they've got some good players.
They do have some good players. Yeah.
We didn't give a damn.
No.
They could have put us out of our misery early in that game, but they let us hang around with a couple of fumbles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but again, defensively, we didn't play well that year. Clemson's still playing really, really well on defense. We gave up a bunch of scores and had to come back offensively. Clemson is still playing top 10 defense, so that's the
because of the lack of experience, so they have to.
Yeah.
Muse is a really good leader in that group, and the defensive line's brand new.
Well,
I think once you're itching to play, so it matters to you.
And you play 4 Brent Venables.
The run pass splits are going to be interesting to me tomorrow. That's a real
for them or
storyline
for us.
If we're on Clemson for them,
yeah,
that's a real storyline. If you're talking Clemson this year. What the hell? You have ETN. You want to get 23 in the game?
Yeah, but if they're gonna do it, I really hope they don't commit to it, because I think outside the tackles they can have success against us if we're not disciplined. Now maybe we will be. We have been better about it. You're right to bring that up. But if they are disciplined about it,
I think if they're trying to zig back to, let's establish ETN. That's our best chance. Because
of the big three.
Well, and because of the way we play in the middle of the field, like safety, linebacker depth. I mean, if they want to bust the seams, which is what they really don't do all that much,
not much.
We're in trouble. But if they want to throw outside the numbers and one-on-one matchups, and it's up to Lawrence to make a beautiful throw 30 yards down the field, and they want to get ETN between the tackle, you could have it to where the fans are frustrated in the second quarter because they only have 10 points on the board.
Well, I like that scenario. Let's hope it happens. We'll be at Hangar 38 to watch it. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
It's football season in Florida's Panhandle, and the best place to shop for FSU apparel and merchandise is Garnet & Gold. Owned and operated by Seminoles for Seminoles for nearly 40 years. Garnet & Gold has a huge selection of FSU merchandise to serve you, the true Nole. Shop online 24/7 at garnetandgold.com. And on game days, visit us on West Pensacola Street, just 2 blocks from the stadium. And remember, we're always open at garnetandgold.com. Go Noles!
A Sport Clips Championship haircut experience makes you feel like your hair has its own walk-up music. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. Your hair deserves its own walk-up music, and at Sport Clips, we make it easy. A game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys while you're surrounded by sports. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. So download the app, check in, and get your hair in the game.
How do you explain the joy of getting any size soft drink for just $1 from McDonald's? Well, it's like...
One, two, three.
Yeah, like that. Get $1 any size soft drink from McDonald's. Joy included. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Win an ultimate fan cave experience. Text Fan Cave to 66555 and enter to win a $1,500 prize giveaway from Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales. Win a 50-inch flat screen TV, refrigerator for your ice-cold Bud Light, and more. Text Fan Cave to 66555 or visit trieaglesales.com. Bud Light, famous among friends. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Tri-Eagle Sales.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
You have to be up in 5 hours. 2 hours. 6 minutes, and you haven't slept a wink. ZzzQuil Pure Z's is a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake with no next-day grogginess. So tonight, try new ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil.
Chuck Oliver here, and there's no better place to watch football this season than Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar, located at 926 North Monroe Street. On the corner of 3rd Monroe, Cigars of Tally is the perfect place to kick back and enjoy your favorite cigars and ice-cold beer. The Diamond Crown Lounge offers countless options, including J.C. Newman, Arturo Fuente, Padron, Drew Estate, Ashton, and many more. Watch your teams on sparkling 4K TVs and seating areas made for comfort and luxury relaxation. Check out the private conference rooms and the spacious patio for your next watch party and fantasy draft. Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar, 926 North Monroe Street. Get your ash in here.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
We talk about this a lot. I think it's worth revisiting here. I've seen the replay since you had an obvious interference call last night, missed in replay. Pat Shurmur, the head coach of the Giants, challenged a no call on a play in which Patriots defender Jonathan Jones made obvious contact with Golden Tate before the ball arrived. NFL Senior Vice President of Officiating Al Riverin upheld the original call by Brad Allen's crew. And Schumer said afterwards, we see that replay doesn't overturn much, so I'm not surprised. In fact, a lot of the coaches have brought this up. Earlier in the week, Mike Tomlin, he's on the NFL's competition committee, said he doesn't think that any of us have a feel for what an overturned pass interference ruling would actually look like. He added, I'm just being honest. I don't have any idea what I'm going to do moving forward because it appears that it's a moving target from week to week. He's not wrong. Actually, they don't get it right 95% of the time. It shouldn't be reviewable. I've argued that from the get-go. This was an overreaction to an egregiously missed call in the NFC Championship game. And when you look at this, it's a 1-for-21 streak of the last 22 that have been challenged. They don't overturn them.
Yeah, I think conspiracy theorists in this case might be correct. That this is the officials pushing back on and saying, listen, we're going to sabotage this thing because this is stupid.
I commend them, I think, because it is stupid and it is an overreaction. If you want in the last 2 minutes of a game to enact a rule like this where New York, could buzz down and say, we're going to look at this again. It's a playoff game. Last 2 minutes, we're going to need to take a look at this. All right, I guess I'd go along with that. This idea that any Tom, Dick, or Harry could just throw the flag out there in the middle of the second quarter and say, hey, I got a problem. Stop that. Stop that. We're trying to play football, man. It's always been a difficult call. This is all part and parcel to the review process and over-officiated football games that we now watch in college and pros. They're going to have to take a step back. I think the pushback, the blowback now is such that enough people have said enough is enough. Enough people have watched these games and said, I'm tired of the flow of my football game being ruined by really sort of, we're talking about the minutia of the game. You're talking about a spot in the first quarter of a football game at the 40. I've watched these people challenge this and review these plays on 2nd and 6 in the first quarter of a tie game. Get the hell out of here with that. We got to stop this. And I'm sorry, the calls are going to be missed. As long as human beings are making calls, they're going to miss some. The game's played so fast. But I really believe that the idea about really putting an emphasis on the egregious is where we need to go. Go back to the perfect hits of the world and really make sure you come down hard on guys like that, plays like that. Other than that, rightfully make the assumption that a player is not intentionally leading with his helmet. Rightfully make the assumption that people do not have time to size people up with the crown of their helmet with the intent to do harm and damage intentionally. Because it doesn't happen. Everything looks bad in slow motion. Everything, if you go by the letter of the law, seems to fit under the umbrella of targeting. I see probably no fewer, if we're just going by the letter of the law, in the NFL, because they don't buzz down the way they do in college. They just let them play. For the most part, I see any given weekend, if we're just going by the letter of the law, 25 to 30 targeting calls that don't get called. Yeah. I mean, 30 easily where you just go, well, that's targeting. If we're going to follow the rules that they follow in college, they'd have to buzz down on this one, and that guy would be gone.
Well, sure, even running backs that lower their head.
They never called that, by the way,
which
either.
they said when this new wrinkle to the rule came out is that offensive players are in play here.
And that's stupid, too.
That in the trenches, if there's helmets colliding, that's in play as well.
Well, at that point, we would be done playing football as we know it. There'd be no way to play football.
I understand.
Yeah, and so
these were the talking points that the league itself put out there.
Yeah, they need to, and I think they may get here because you can't play the sport this way. And I think enough players have fought back and pushed back. Look, players want to be protected. Believe me, players are the ones who say, if we don't protect ourselves, who's going to protect us? I mean, I got it. There are codes within the game. There are understandings of what's on the up and up and what isn't, what crosses that line. Anybody that's played that game knows it. We all do. We all do. And even if you couldn't clearly define it on paper or write it out per se as a new rule, NFL players, college players, high school players, when you come up playing the game, you get it. Guy standing around a pile, it's well after the whistle, you come in and clean somebody's clock, you're going to get yours. I mean, that's just not acceptable. All these people know, all these players know, it's just like in hockey. Everybody knows what you can and can't do, and they police it. But if you want to get the over-the-top, outrageous, outlandish, potentially very dangerous hits out of the game, you can. The point of emphasis has been out there now for some time. I've mentioned before, the rule has been on the books about the crown of the helmet and using it to inflict damage and to lead in that way for as long as football has been played, mainly to protect the player that does it, not the player that's getting hit by it. And so, that's just improper tackling form, and you quickly break your neck. Most guys don't do it that way. There is also a tendency, just because of leverage and the lean that you have to get low to lead with the crown of your helmet, or at least the forward part of your helmet. There's no real way around that. It's football, and it's a game of angles and leverage. They're just going to have to get rid of this. I mean, just get rid of this so we can watch a football game and move on.
Yeah, listen, every time we talk about officiating, I want to throw something against the wall because I hate talking about officiating unless it's something ridiculous.
But it happened again last night, though.
But you have to rehash it just like it's Florida State's offensive line, and it drives me freaking crazy. And both of those things are going to rear their ugly head tomorrow against Clemson because Janarius Robinson is not available for you in the first half of the game, so we have to talk about officiating and targeting, at least at the collegiate level. And the offensive line is, well, they're not putting on disguises. You're not getting the guys from back in the good old days, like a Rodney Hudson's not coming through that tunnel tomorrow. He's going to play center for us or something like that.
Oh, boy, wouldn't that be nice? No, not going to happen.
Still need a tackle. But
you still need a lot of help across the board. One thing I will note, though, if going back to this one final time, and it did come up last night, and everybody was kind of absolutely in awe that it didn't get called upon replay.
We got to stop being in awe of these things, though. They suck at it.
Well, they're just not going to do it.
Or intentionally they are.
Yeah, in this case, they're not going to do it. And the NFL did decline comment on the recent reluctance to reverse pass interference decisions. The rule, by the way, though, and I did find this out, was implemented this year as a one-year trial. Clearly, they do not intend to use this. I mean, they have just now told you over and over and over again, we're not going to do this. That first week you saw it, the Bucs were the benefactor of one of these calls along the sidelines.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't
for the Giants game.
Yeah, it wasn't called on the field, and then upon replay they showed it and they called it. I will say this. Once again, by the letter of the law, that was interference when we saw it in the replay. I'd have never called that, and they didn't call it on the field. So hand fighting's been part of football. The millisecond that you might get there just before or just after, it's just.
Would you call the not Colston, going back in the day, the Michael Thomas push off on Hargraves?
I don't know. Maybe.
He's pushing.
Yeah, he's pushing.
He's got a hand on sternum there.
Probably would have called that one. Yeah. It's funny. I think I think at the time I said, well, you might have forced me to throw that flag. But I would be reluctant, like these officials are, to call that. I'm going to let these guys jostle a little bit and play football.
It's a protest. It's got to be. That's the only way you get these things wrong. This consistently. Like, they get some stuff wrong, and you just scratch your head, but not at such a terrible level where it's, what did you say, 1 of 12, 1 of 21, 1 of 23?
20, one of the last 22.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
It's never at that level of incompetence without them trying to make a message clear to the world.
Oh, no. And, it's funny, too, because one of the things they did that I think a lot of people would say thank you to Tom Brady for, holding calls are way down ever since the tweet. I'm sorry, that can't be a coincidence.
And that's not the officials' fault. I go back to that. That's the league telling them. That's the league office telling them to throw the flags, and they have to do it. They're the ones they have to swing the axe.
I'm fine with that. What I'm saying is, thank goodness Tom Brady, knowing the weight that he holds, tweeted that out and said, this is unwatchable. I can't watch this. I'm going to bed. Because he echoed the sentiments of fans across the country. And only he has a lot more weight. And they actually listened.
You know what really deflates my balls?
Watching a game in which 9 holding calls take place in the first half. I'm going to bed. This is unwatchable.
Hashtag TB12 method.
Plyometrics. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
That's right. Tune in to the Jeff Cameron Show every Wednesday for your chance at a free Wicked 5 meats and 3 cheeses of deliciousness, which is Wicked Wednesdays every week on the JCS.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you'd like a laid-back atmosphere, the 7th Hill Tap Room is your spot. 24 craft brew taps, plus wine options as well. And when you want to watch the pros, enjoy half off all craft drafts all day on Sundays. So whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Noles doing the war chant. Now is your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Noles welcome in Syracuse on October 26th for homecoming, and then Miami on November 2nd. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports.
Get your tickets by calling 888-FSU-NOLE to see Florida State football take on Syracuse and Miami.
Or visit Seminoles.com today.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. JRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
When was the last time you experienced something for the first time? On Thursday, October 17th from 6 to 10 p.m., Jerry's Famous Cigar Shop is hosting another exclusive cigar tasting event featuring Balmoral cigars. Meet their national sales director while enjoying music, craft beers, and delicious cigars. You'll also get special event deals on all Balmoral cigars. Don't miss the Jerry Cigar Shop Balmoral Cigars event on Thursday, October 17th from 6 to 10 p.m. Find out more at jerrycigarshop.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
All right, I may not know who Jacob Nix is, but he's with the Padres organization, and this is a fun story, and he's incredibly lucky to be alive. He was kicked in the face and tased after he was caught crawling through a doggy door of a home in Arizona this past weekend, according to court documents that have just been released.
Yeah, you can't get your hands up if you're trying to go through the doggy door.
Yeah, you're just wearing kicks to the face, my man. Stop it. Ow! Stop kicking my face. A woman in Peoria, Arizona, a suburb of Phoenix, called police after her husband caught a man entering their residence early Sunday morning, according to a police report. I think I know where we're going here. This feels an awful lot like not maintaining. This is, we're dancing into thatville here. This is a little Ryan Russillo action. The husband... What?
I'm sorry.
Had you forgotten about that?
No, it's just a little Ryan Russillo action is an awesome shirt. It's time for a little Ryan Russillo action. The 10th annual Jeff Cameron Show Libations Friday Fest.
The husband told Peoria police he was woken up around 3:30 in the morning. Woo! Good night on the town, Jacob Nix. 3:30 a.m. when he heard sound coming from the doggy door, which, oh, by the way, is located in his bedroom. Ooh.
Oh, my.
No. Not what you do.
That's not what you do.
That's
Even
not
like
what you
bugs
do
and
at all.
stuff. You know,
not what you do.
Like a raccoon coming through?
What are we doing here? He said he saw a flashlight. Oh, Jesus. This guy really is lucky he's not dead. I mean, really lucky he's not dead. So the husband said he saw a flashlight shining through the door that leads to the backyard, then noticed a man attempting to crawl through the doggy door. Police identified that man as 23-year-old Jacob Nix, his employer, the San Diego Padres. The husband yelled to his wife, "Call 911 and get me my gun." His wife told police that she couldn't find her husband's handgun. And that is the only reason, I might add, that Jacob Nix is alive, because admittedly, quite the pacifist that I am, I'm telling you now, that dude deserves to be shot.
Well, and also, listen, you got to come up with a code ahead of time. If you got a gun in the house and you want the person who
to
is
get you the
breaking
gun,
in
to know,
you don't want them to know you don't have a gun.
Right. Well, hold on. She didn't yell, "I can't find your gun."
Oh, okay.
There's more to it.
Okay.
Which you're right. Don't ever yell that out,
Don't
hun.
yell,
I can't find it. Oh, really? Looks like the fight just became even. Yeah, no, you're right. Don't yell that out. She didn't. She said she could not find or retrieve her husband's gun. Couldn't find it. So instead, she grabbed the taser. Wow, these people are loaded for bear. The husband told police that he then kicked Nix in the face repeatedly. Noticed that there was another man's arm reaching in the doggy door, trying to pull Nix back out.
Oh, my God.
So now we got two people. The partner's like, "Oh, Jesus, wrong house. Let's go.
This guy's choking on his own blood for getting kicked in the nose.
Face repeatedly. Nix and the other man, whom police identified as Thomas Cosgrove, 23 years old, started to try to run away. Armed with his stun gun, the husband leaned through the doggy door. So my man's leaning through the doggy door like, it's not going to happen that easily, son. Took aim and struck Nix in the neck.
It's a hell of a shot.
I think he got lucky. The husband told police that Nix immediately fell down, according to the police report, and both men then hopped up and ran from the house on foot. No doubt Nix complaining about having been kicked in the face repeatedly and shot in the neck with a stun gun. I'm wearing it. Damn it, Thomas. Peoria police say Thomas is laughing as they're running, and poor Nix's face is bloodied. He can't feel his left side of his body. He's been he's shook.
My jaw's broken.
He's shook. Both men ran from the house. Peoria police said they found the two of the men several miles away and arrested them without incident. Nix and Cosgrove, minor league pitchers, told police they were dropped off at the house by a rideshare service. At least they knew not to drink and drive. That's good for them. They do get some marks. Nick said he believed it was his residence at the time, according to the report. He said that he usually enters his home through the front door and doesn't even have a doggy door, and admitted that he had been drinking. Both men told police, in fact, that they had been out all night drinking. "This is my fault," said Nix. "I can't blame alcohol, but I was inebriated." That's a great statement, by the way. I don't want to put the blame on the alcohol.
I can't blame the alcohol, but the bartender, completely reckless. Completely reckless.
He said he could not remember even entering the backyard. Nix dropped his phone inside the home, and police verified that it was his when he was booked into jail. Left your phone behind, my man. That's a toughie.
Was his phone in his hand when he stuck it through the doggy door?
It sounds like this wasn't well planned.
Like, I just don't get how you could get kicked in the face without getting your hands up, but then your phone's on the floor, so maybe your hand did get through the doggy door?
Well, the other guy's hand got through the door to try to pull him back. That's a sizable doggy door. Also, I would just say that I think my man probably dropped it when he fell to the ground after being stun-gunned in the neck.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably
that's
like,
true.
Oh, you lose control of your functions. He's like, oh, you don't have time to. It's dark out here. Where's my phone? You see my phone, Thomas?
How you doing? Like, he can't talk for two reasons. One, his jaw's broken. Two, he can't feel his neck.
Oh, my goodness. On October the 6th, according to court documents from Maricopa County, which I always love saying, a lot of stuff goes down in Maricopa County. Both men were charged with criminal trespassing for entering the homeowner's backyard. Nix was charged with an additional count of criminal trespassing for entering the residence. They both bonded out that afternoon. What a hangover that must have been. Paid a cool $100 to get out. Nix and Cosgrove did not immediately return calls for a statement. Nope, not going to make that return call. Nix is listed as charged with one count of criminal trespassing for entering the residence, by the way. Nix is currently listed on Major League Baseball's official site as playing for the Peoria Javelinas during the Arizona Fall League. He last played when he got a start during the game on October the 4th against the Salt River Rafters. Cosgrove, by the way, plays for Lake Eisnor Storm, an advanced eighth affiliate of the Padres, and they were having a good old time.
So do you buy it? Do you buy that this is two drunk dudes trying to get home, or do you think it's drunk dudes trying to break into a house and steal some stuff?
Well, I ordinarily would buy that this is just too. I mean, it's 3:30 in the morning. Clearly, they had been getting after it. It sounds like for most of the day into the wee hours of the night.
You got the phone flashlight going, but if he.
But here's where I think he's in trouble.
What gets me.
Well, and here's where I think he's in trouble. This is where he may get real lucky here because I guess they're going to buy the story. But he doesn't have a doggy door at his house. He doesn't own a dog, and so what are we doing here?
And he said something about he doesn't have a back door. Like he always goes through the front door.
Yeah, he always goes through the front door at his house. Doesn't have a back door. Or doesn't have a doggy door. So it'd be one thing to be like, okay, I live a block from here. I was hammered. I don't know why that house seemed
it was
like
Ryan Russillo
it seemed like
Arizona Fall League. Yeah,
it seemed like my time, and I was telling my friend, I've got beer in the fridge. Let's go back to my house. And the key wouldn't open the door, and so I thought, well, we'll go around to the doggy door. Like if he actually had a doggy door and lived within a mile of that house, I might go, okay, he got a little loose, things got a little weird. It happens. He's 23, Tom. He's not in his 40s or even mid-30s. Yeah. He's 23. We all got a little silly in their 20s. So I'm one to give a wide berth here. I usually, spring break, I was in the Keys, Isla Mirada, woke up on the beach. Don't really remember how I got on the beach. Don't remember any of that. The sea woke me. Could have died. I'm not proud of it, but there's an example. Okay, there's an example. You wake up on the beach, you're like, how did I get here? So I usually give, like I say, a wide berth here. But breaking in through a doggy door.
Right, yes, that's what I'm getting at here is, you're 23,
things happen.
You're living life in the fast lane, whatever. But at what point does it occur to you that that's a doggy door? There's got to be, was there something in your drinks? Is there something more? A little Texas tea?
Well, I think there was a lot in those drinks, and I think they had a lot of them.
But to be able to say to yourself, well, I'll just go in through the doggy door that I don't have.
You think these guys were the last two people on earth throwing down the drank?
The drank is strong.
The lean, you think they're...
Oh, the lean? The Texas tea? The purple drank?
The purple drank?
It's still going.
It is? It does?
It's got to be.
No, I don't think people... Really? Maybe.
You just been out the game, Hoss.
Oh, I would have never been in that game because I think that involves cough syrup. Is that right?
Closest thing I ever had to anything like that was Sparks.
Whoa!
Look at that! The board wants in.
Yes, yes, and it's wine.
James Luther Dickinson wants in.
He's like, "Come on, I got this."
That's phenomenal.
He's tired of us ripping Jacob Nix.
No,
He's
Sparks
like, "No,
was like the Four Loko. I had one of those before an FSU basketball game. Somebody had it in a cooler. They're like, "Yeah, just have a Sparks." Like, what is this?
Okay,
it's like a Red Bull.
And you're flying high.
But it was a Red Bull with like 5%. That's not good, man.
Were you like, I gotta go home?
That was the FSU Miami game where Jimmy Graham was coming in, 0-0.
Oh my.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men in a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Owned by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Times can be tough, but getting a late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you writing today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Come in today for a 3 Chicken Supremes dinner for just $4.99. Each Chicken Supremes dinner comes with 3 of our bold, craveable chicken tenders, your choice of fixin', and a fresh buttery biscuit. Plus, you'll get a free legendary iced tea. For a limited time, get Bojangles 3 Chicken Supremes dinner with your choice of fixin' and a biscuit for just $4.99. And don't forget that free iced tea. Bojangles, it's bow time, y'all.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, Live Nation's Friday edition of the program. Thanks for tuning to it. A little loosey-goosey action, as we're wont to do on this fair day, online, ESPNTallahassee.com. If you're not listening on the radio, hopping about in the vehicle. Oh, by the way, you can use the WTSM app as well for your mobile devices. You can find us on YouTube and Periscope. Go ahead and watch the show being performed as well if you'd like. We bring in my good buddy Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. We always do on Friday. We get into some of the games, some of the actions for the weekend, and it's an interesting card this week. Lee, I have a question before we get started. First of all, hello as always.
You too.
And
good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. My question for you is this. So what do you do? I'm talking about the NFL right now. How do you handicap a game when a team fires their coach, when an organization fires the coach the way that Washington did? Now, let's just pretend Miami wasn't purposely losing games. Let's just pretend, just in general, that you have to handicap a team the week after midseason an organization fires a coach. What do you do with that?
In the NFL, college kids are immature, and they will, they'll sit in their room, they're texting their parents and their friends. The NFL, the kids, well, they're not kids, they're adults.
Yeah.
I think they are determined. If they're starters, they want to keep their position. And if they're backups, they figure, hey, if I'm a backup now, I get a chance. I perform on special teams or play a little bit. I might have a chance to unseat the guy ahead of me. I think you play on the new coach the first week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if he's a retread like Bill sorry-ass Callahan?
Yeah, he's not.
He's been around.
There's certain coaches that are great for a couple. They come in and they can win like a couple games.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. I love that game.
I just think that it's not a game I'm playing. I'm not playing the Miami Virginia game, and we'll talk about that. And I'm not playing the Washington Miami game.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
I think if you had to play a side, you play the Redskins.
All right, let's go to the college version of Miami. The Canes are surprisingly a favorite over Virginia here. The line's been weird in this game, originally kind of coming out here, and now it's Miami, -2? I think it's what was it as of this morning, Lee? Do you know? I mean, it was like a pick 'em almost as of last night. It was all over the place.
I'll give you. I've got a line service that I pay a couple $100 a month. Where as the average person, it takes they get the lines.
Yeah, you can get it bet
every
online,
3 to 5 minutes later. So I'm going to give you the lines as of right now.
Beautiful. What do we got?
And it's up to 2.5 everywhere.
Miami -2.5.
37 offshores in Vegas casinos. 35 have it at 2.5. 2 have it at 2.
So what gives about? Since we have to talk about the game, I find this fascinating. Virginia came out as a favorite on Sunday night circa or Monday if you were looking on BetOnline AG or Sunday evening. And then all of a sudden we're at a place now where the Canes are 2.5-point favorites. What gives?
I think they're begging. They want that Virginia money. But I think if you play Virginia, you're falling into the trap. So and I sit there on Sunday and I project the lines, and I'm usually within a half a point at the most, anything under a 20-point line, and I had Virginia as a 3-point favorite. So when I see something off and there's no injuries, and if it's off, it's usually because I've missed an injury. Sometimes in college football, they don't come out till Monday. I think you're making a mistake. So now, do I think that Miami is more talented? Maybe, by a little bit.
I think so.
Maybe something strange happens. There's a couple kids, DJ Dallas plays hard. Jeff Thomas, for the first time in his career, showed me a little something. He's been a total enigma. The linebackers, these are guys that were projected to go maybe second, third round.
They're studs,
totally underperformed. You can run the last 3 years. You can run. You fake the run one way and have the tight end on that side, or the guy in the slot, or the fullback. He can go back the other way. It's like 100 for 100 the last 3 years.
Yeah,
it's
no discipline.
Automatic completion, 15, 20-yard gain no matter what.
Yeah, no, it's no discipline. People lose contain. They lose outside shoulder, all that stuff. Yeah, you see it. Yeah.
Our defensive ends, the same thing. So Virginia, dead last, red zone conversion rate. So I just think that the right play, if you had to play the game, is Miami. I think Miami's going to win this game, something like 27-23. Something to watch for your listeners. Try to give them some pointers. And to watch in this game is Bronco Mendenhall's defense. The key is they want to get you in 3rd and 5 or longer. And what does he do when he gets you in 3rd and 5? He wants the quarterback. He's going to try to get you to release the ball as quick as possible. And 80 to 90% of the time, 3rd and long, he's blitzing 1 or 2 guys. And he wants you to release that ball. If he gets you to release that ball, he thinks he's got real quickly. He thinks he's got a good chance of beating you. So that's something to watch if you watch the game. We'll talk about some other defenses as they go along. Maybe we'll do an Iowa State game one day when they're playing someone good. I'll explain. They play 3 safeties every single play. Did you know that?
I don't watch Iowa State if I can help it.
But a friend of mine does a tutorial on it. It's like a 15-minute tutorial. They have so many defenses, and if you're a first-time quarterback, you're totally confused by it. It took me literally about 3 hours to figure out what they do on defense.
What the responsibilities are. LSU minus 13 against Florida struck me as a really big number. Florida always plays LSU well. They play very good defense. Is that number too big, or is this just a machine, this LSU offense?
I think it's a machine. And here's the thing. If this game was at Florida, I'd give Florida a shot, but it's at LSU, it's at night. And I just think that Joe Burrow right now, with the way that they've constructed this offense, it's like playing 7 for 7 with him, 7 on 7. He is in a groove right now. I think with the injury to Kyle Trask, I think that could be a problem for Florida. They're great at home, Florida. They rolled Tennessee and took care of Auburn, but on the road, they were lucky to beat Miami, a couple plays away from losing. And Kentucky makes that field goal, they lose that game. And also, it's a circle game for LSU. I like LSU here, 27-19.
Yeah, the other problem is that it's a bad spot for Florida coming off the Auburn game. I feel like that's a physical game at home where you're emotional, and now you got to go on the road and get there again against LSU. Clemson, rightfully, is a huge favorite over my Noles. They're given 27. Last year it was 59-10. I do think the mental makeup, the willingness to sacrifice and play hard for one another is different in this year's Florida State team. They do care. They are trying. They're just not talented enough on the offensive line. So I have a hard time with the game. Clemson's infinitely superior, really talent-wise, but 27 is an awful lot of points. How do you see it?
I think it is too. And here's something telling about what's going on with these two teams. 3 weeks ago, I'm tempted to take Clemson. But you got to look at the entire body of work. And Clemson, now we're finding out that their quarterback Lawrence was injured a couple weeks ago and has not been the same. He went for an MRI. And then on top of that, they were +7 turnover ratio last year. This year, they're -1. Florida State last year, -11 turnover ratio. This year, they are +5.
Yeah.
So big change there. I think this is going to be the best offense that Clemson faces here. 2 of Clemson's covers are by 0.5 point, so I'm not impressed. And Jim Leavitt, I think he's certainly helping out the defense a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think the host here, not a great play. 3-6 against the spread the last 9 in the series. Give me Clemson to win the game, 42-28, but I like Florida State to cover easy.
I'd like to see that, buddy. Carolina and Tampa Bay and London. I hate London games. Real different matchup since the last time these two teams played, and the Bucs won on the road against Carolina. The Bucs' entire right side of the offensive line is gone. The secondary is terrible. Good run defense, but also Cam Newton's not playing for Carolina. That's a bad break for the Bucs because he's been awful for 2 years. How do you see this game?
Yeah, I love teams after they've lost at home, and even though this is on a neutral site, I like them in the rematch. I just don't think the Tampa Bay, I don't think the maturity of the team is still there. I don't think they're capable of winning like 3 or 4 in a row. And some of these young players, I mean, you set them loose in London. I mean, good luck with that. There's something about, Carolina since, they lost Newton. They've come together, and some teams do that. And running the football. McCaffrey's incredible. I don't know how long he's going to hold up, but he won't be playing. He won't be playing in 7 or 8 years in the NFL.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
Carrying the ball and catching the ball this much, it's not going to happen. But I think the right side. I'm going to take Carolina here, 28-24.
Jacksonville and New Orleans. This is an interesting game. The public would jump all over New Orleans here, rightfully so. I think it just in the way the two teams have played. But I did think it was interesting that Jacksonville was favored. So the sharps are telling you something here. What say you?
You've been at this game.
Yeah.
You're starting to figure it out after. How long have we been doing segments now?
Oh, we've been doing this a long time. Plus, I like to really gamble. I'm a degenerate.
It's at least 12, 14 years, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, over a decade for sure. Yeah.
How many years have you been a solo host?
Oh, I've been a solo host my whole career.
But at the station.
Oh, at this particular station.
No, both of them combined.
Oh, both of them combined, 20.
Okay. So it might be 13, 14 years.
Yeah, we went back to the old station for sure when I took over in the afternoons, and then you've been right on board with me. I mean, buddy, we go way back.
You're picking up a lot of good pointers, and I know you're into the looking at the point spread makes it real interesting. Here's the problem for New Orleans. The game is being played outdoors on grass, and we're used to practicing on a turf field all the time. It's just different. I mean, I remember I played on a grass field when I used to play games in high school or college on a turf field. It was different and didn't have some of my best games. On top of that, Fournette running the ball extremely well. Then you've got quarterback. I think Gardner Minshew. I think he's going to be the starter no matter what happens.
He's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I just the kid's a winner. He may not be the fastest, may not have the strongest arm, but the kid knows how to win. And this New Orleans team, I just think that they're gonna be up against. They've been in 3 wars the last 3 games, and Jacksonville. I think this is just the right matchup here. Give me Jacksonville 28-20.
I thought you'd do that. Yeah. Game of the week: Wake Forest and Louisville. It's 6.5 for Wake. It's an interesting line in my mind. But how do folks get this game from you, Lee?
Isn't it crazy that the teams that are under the radar? Who do we hear most about undefeated? SMU. Would you agree?
Sure. Yeah.
You realize Memphis is undefeated,
and they have a good defense this year. I did know that. Yeah.
How about Baylor? I didn't even realize Baylor was undefeated. So
yeah, because they're not lighting up scoreboards. They're winning with an average offense and pretty good defense. Yeah.
And people figure they're going to lose. So hey, SMU is a great story, but Wake Forest is a great story also. Louisville much improved. You want to get this game for free? Call right now. First 10 callers get it. 800-400-9741. I'm going to have another big week. Another 40 to 50 unit play. This week it goes in the NFL. We're 39-15 on these games going back the last 11 years. So last week we went 7-5, but you hit on our big plays, our 30 to 50 unit plays. Last week we had our big college play, Virginia Tech plus 2 touchdowns over Miami. Then on Sunday, we had Minnesota over the Giants. So we're going to fire again. You want to hop on board. It's not October. We call it Locktober. 3 weeks of action from tonight, and I have a rare 30-unit play on a Friday night. Just go to Paramount.